Well, Pat Benatar didn't make it this year for the class of 2020. She should have. We talked to one of the ladies who wrote two of her big hits, Invincible and Love is a Battlefield, Holly Knight, on Rock History Music. I'm John Beaudin. I've been following Holly Knight's career for way back when. I remember when I saw her in a Device video and thinking, who is that? I went out to the radio station and did some research and tried to find out who she was. And of course, that was just the beginning. Co-writing hits like Ragdoll by Aerosmith, Obsession by Animotion. As mentioned, Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield, Invincible. Sometimes the Good Guys Finish First, and Girl. Stick to Your Guns, Bon Jovi. There were artists like Bonnie Tyler, Cheap Trick, Sean Colvin, The Divinyls, Fifi Dobson, ABBA's Agneta Faltskog, Lita Ford, Lou Gramm, Just Between You and Me, Hall & Oates. Let's remember Heart, Never, There's the Girl, and Tall, Dark, Handsome Stranger. She co-wrote tunes for Chaka Khan, Kiss, and Meatloaf. Also on the list, Aaron Neville, Ozzy Osbourne, Suzi Quatro, Rod Stewart, and most notably, with Tina Turner, Better Be Good to Me, One of the Living, and The Best, Love Thing, and In Your Wildest Dreams, just to mention a few. We start with Love is a Battlefield. Pat Benatar released it in 1983. I remember, interestingly, my moment with that was, of course, the video. A very empowering video. And then years later, I saw it on the Jennifer Garner film, 13 Going on 30. We started with that scene from that movie with Holly Knight.
It's adorable. Very adorable. Yeah, I loved it.
What does that do to you as you're sitting there watching the screen and there's a whole other world, this movie, this scene in this movie that's built around something you created? I mean, how does that feel?
It feels wonderful because you're bringing happiness and like music to people, and it's just great.
How did it all start with Pat Benatar for you? How did that with Invincible and Love is Battlefield?
I met her a few times because she was on Chrysalis Records, and a lot of those artists, like Billy Idol and her and Shawn Wade, they were all Chrysalis. And so I was writing a lot of songs for Chrysalis artists. I think I met her at a party briefly once, but that was it. And then I had just moved to California. I went over to Mike Chapman's house to write. I had left Spider and went up to him and said, look, I want to leave the band, but I know you put a lot of money into it, and are you going to be upset with me? And he said, I explained to him why I wanted to leave the band. And after these lengthy discussions, he just said, I think you would be better off moving to California. Don't worry about the band. I think that you're talented in your songwriting. And he said, there are a lot of amazing musicians out there, and then not to take away from any of that, but being a great songwriter, he said, that's like the royalty of the business. And if you can keep hitting it out of the park, I think that might be something you'd like to do. So it's, full-time songwriter. And you could come out to California, I'll sign you to a deal. If I'm not writing, I'll introduce you to other songwriters I think that are talented. If I'm doing a record and I need songs, you'll have a direct funnel into whatever record I'm working on. Of course, they would have to be good songs, but, you're that much closer. So that's the promise he made. And so back then in the beginning, I just started, I think it was the first day I went over and he got a phone call, and I didn't know who he was talking to, but he was laughing and, they were joking, horsing around and stuff. And then finally he said, well, look, I'm here to write today with Holly Knight. She's a writer that I just signed, and we were going to write today, so we're going to try and write something for you. I'm going to write you a hit. And he hung up, and I said, who was that? And he said, Pat Benatar. So that's the day we wrote Love is a Battlefield.
Wow. I mean, how did that song come to fruition beyond that story? When you two sit together, you're writing Love is a Battlefield. How did that start? How did the idea come?
I had the musical chord, something I'd been jamming and playing on, and basically it was the music to Love is a Battlefield. I started playing it, and he picked up a guitar, and so then we had a section at that point that sounded like a chorus, at least musically. So then we just started on the lyrics. We pretty much wrote the whole song together, like equally, with the lyrics and stuff that day, except for one line on the chorus. And that took us a week of me going back there and working with him. And it wasn't that we had writer's block. I mean, we had like hundreds of ideas, but we wanted a line that just seemed to be a good chorus line, and we didn't want it to be so much a complete sense as sort of just like a rhythmic sort of no promise says, no demand, which is what we came up with.
Yeah. And that song has a real determination, too. That song has a real kind of get the hell out of my way, I'm coming through kind of song, you know?
Yeah, and we didn't really like it when we first heard it. We thought it was very manic and all these synthesizers and weird things. But, you know, over time we would agree to love it because it was a hit and it was catchy. And there's a new guy, his name is Luke Evans. He's an actor, actually. I think he's like from Wales or Britain. Terrific looking guy. He just recorded Love the Battlefield. And the way he recorded it is closer to sort of how Ardell was. Like, it was more epic. It was a little bit slower. You know, all the rest of it was all there. But without all those bells and whistles, you can really hear the song, you know. What was distracting about Pat and Meryl's version of the song.
We'll have more from Holly Knight coming up next week. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music.